Hello and welcome to all of you gardeners. We're glad that you've joined us. This is Mid-American Gardener, and we're here to answer some of your questions. We're here to think spring and really talk about plants. So we're glad that you've joined us. I'm Diane Noland, and I'm the host for Mid-American Gardener, and I teach horticulture at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and I'm in the crop sciences department. Hey, let's find out who else is here. They all look really intelligent. Wow. Well, we're going to have a good time today. So let's start with our first intelligent folk, and that is you, Chuck Voigt.
Well, hello, Diane. It's good to be here. I'm Chuck Voigt. I'm in the Department of Crop Sciences. I'm a vegetable and herb specialist, so those kinds of questions are what I'm going to answer the easiest. Well, I brought a show and tell.
Okay.
I may have brought this in a long time ago. I'm not sure, but they were blooming and they're just so darn neat. I couldn't not bring it tonight. Ooh, it got a little bent. It is an evergreen amaryllis. You know, I think people are more familiar with the deciduous one that I think probably comes from a place with a wet and dry season. So it grows in the wet season. When dry season, it dies back to the ground, and then it flowers first and then sends up foliage again later. Well, this one stays green all the time, and just about this time every year, I think it must be photoperiodic because they bloom about this time every year, although I had a couple of precocious ones that bloomed the end of November into the beginning of December, which was great because I could take it to show and tell in my class before the end of the semester.
Excellent.
So it was like they knew. But I've got probably 30 of these that have bloomed in the greenhouse, which I don't need that many, but there they are. It's got this great color pattern. And last year I got busy and did some hand pollinations, and I grew a whole flat of seedlings. So I don't know if this is a species coloration so that they're all going to look like this, or if there'll be some variation from the seedlings, but those aren't growing real fast, so that could be a long-term project. But they work pretty well if you have a place where you can keep them alive and growing all year long, and then about this time they'll shoot up a flower stalk and
tell all the viewers how long it normally takes from seed and what you
on the deciduous ones. If you go to the internet, it tells you that they take probably 5 years from seed to flower, and I've got one it's going to flower before it's 2 years old on that type, which I just feel so proud. So and hopefully they've segregated a little so it's a little different from the parent. Although if I had all deep red ones like Mom, that wouldn't be so bad. But amaryllis are fun. They're not real difficult. And with the deciduous ones, it's not that hard to rebloom them if you keep the foliage growing, give it lots of sunlight, maybe force them so that you can put it outside for the summer.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful plant, so thank you for
put it down
bringing
so it doesn't block
that in. Okay. Well, we're going to go next to you, Mike Brunk. How are you?
Good. I think I just learned something. So if I go home and tell my wife, hey, honey, I'm feeling a little photoperiodic, let's go hiking. Is that the right term? Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. All right.
The days are getting longer. We've noticed that already.
Oh, yeah, we have. Haven't taken the Christmas lights down yet, but you know, they are getting
It's
longer.
early.
Easter's coming.
I'm Mike Brunk. I'm the Urbana City Arborist. Feeling a little ornery tonight, but you can certainly talk to me about tree care. That's what I'm over at the city, is taking care of the urban trees, and I do answer quite a few questions of our citizens on proper tree care. So I'm certainly ready, willing, and able to attempt more answers tonight. And I have a couple things, but I'll start off with reading a question from Chicago. A gardener who lives in Chicago has a lot of maple trees in her neighborhood. They're very pretty. She likes the golden leaves, but it's virtually impossible for her to grow anything underneath them, and she's looking for a little advice. I guess dandelions will slip between the roots, but that's about all that she has growing there. And I guess what I would suggest, they're a very dense shaded tree. It's kind of an uphill battle to ever try to thin the tree such that would allow light to grow grass or anything like that. So I'd say change your perspective a little bit, and you probably could have some luck in planting little patches of this, that, and the other thing. And then mulching the areas between the plants. So mulching will certainly help the tree, and you might try liriope. There are some hostas that may grow. There's a number of woodland plants that would love that kind of environment. So just don't look at filling the entire area in. Mulch the areas that you have or would like to mulch around the tree, and that'll help the tree. And then just look at planting patches. I think that'd be the best solution.
And it's worth a try.
Sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And then we're going to go to the person right next to me, and it's Dr. Don White. Hi, Don.
Yes, I'm Don White. I'm an emeritus professor of plant pathology from the University of Illinois. I taught introductory plant pathology, had some good students, and taught diseases of field crops and diseases of ornamentals and turf grasses. And now I'm a master gardener, which is a lot of fun. My question came in from a viewer is Dahlia says she wants to know, or he wants to know, what's growing on my dahlia roots. The roots here are abnormally shaped. I was so happy to see this because only a pathologist would say that.
Spoken like a true plant pathologist.
I haven't seen that since graduate school. That's been a while. Anyway, that disease is crown gall. It's caused by a bacterium, and the bacterium actually inserts a DNA fragment into the host cells, and then the host cells will form the gall. You get abnormal number of cells and abnormally large cells. And once the gall starts, you can't stop it. The bacteria doesn't have to be there or not. What happens here, this bacterium can survive in soil long period of time. I'd think 5 years wouldn't be too awful long for it.
Wow.
And it has a number of woody hosts that it could be a problem, euonymus and things like that's where you usually see it. So if you got a problem with this, don't plant dahlias back in there again. They'll also show the same symptoms. There are a number of the annuals that'll grow there without any trouble. Some of the perennials like peonies don't seem to get it.
Good.
And some of the conifers, Japanese yew or different things like that, will work out real well. So thanks for sending this in. I greatly appreciate it. And, don't put dahlias back in the same soil and you're not going to get rid of it. So.
Yes, and Dr. White was a very good teacher. I got to say that. And I don't even need a grade or anything. So
I could go back and change yours.
no,
I think
change
you
it
got an
upward.
A.
No, you can't change it any better than that. So, well, anyway, he loves those kind of things. So thank you, viewers, for sending that in. Well, let's go to a special Did You Know? And then we're going to go to the phone lines. All righty, well, you learn all kinds of things. Let's go on now to the phone lines. We're going to start first with line 2, and it's about dahlias. Hi there, what's your question?
Hi, I think I just got my question answered.
Did you?
I have dahlias, and I have like 30 different kinds, but my red giant dinner plate dahlias had the canker or whatever that is on them. And I was wondering if I could cut off some and keep it and plant it somewhere else. And if I can do that, that's awesome. But if I can't, do I burn them? And I know I can't put it in the same place, but how long will that live in the soil?
If you actually have abnormal growth, such as galls, and it is crown gall, then anything that you propagate from those plants is going to be diseased. It may not show symptoms yet, but they will eventually be diseased. And you run the risk of spreading it around to the others that you might have. So if I were you, I think I'd get rid of them, not plant dahlias in the same location again, and feed it to the trash man, unless you do have a place you can burn them. And you just can't plant dahlias in the same location for 5 years. Now, there are some other diseases that will get on dahlias that won't cause this gall. And some of those you can kind of get away from by cleaning them up. And so I'm not sure if you got the abnormal growth or not.
And it's always a good idea to rotate, not have your
Yes.
dahlias year after year in one spot. Bad things tend to happen if you don't rotate flowers and vegetables.
True.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. That was a nice segue from the other dahlia one. That was good. Well, let's go next to line 4, and it's about purple basil. Hi there. Line 4.
Yes, my wife planted some purple basil in her flower garden years ago, and now it's pretty much all over the place. Is there such a thing? Can you eat that purple basil, or just get to eat the green basil?
Well, you know what that purple basil sounds like to me? That sounds like perilla.
It certainly does.
And perilla is it's fluffier on the edge. In fact, next week we may show some pictures of that because we had another caller. But it's not edible, is it, Chuck?
Well,
or not in the same way?
Yeah, you would use it in some Asian cooking.
Okay.
It has some things in it that you don't want to eat a lot of it, I think. But it is used in Asian cooking to some degree. And anytime you hear something that looks like basil that reseeds itself really, really, really voraciously, it's usually not basil. It's usually a perilla.
And perilla is Perilla, perilla. And
Yes.
it's dangerous to plant if you are not a good weeder. I had someone volunteer to put something in a spot we left open in a landscape I was doing with a bunch of children, and someone planted perilla, and I think 15 years later it was still there.
Yeah.
It is almost a noxious weed in my book.
Yeah, I've been
Oh,
working
I mean,
to keep it
in-
alive because my grandpa planted it and it's been
Okay.
going at the farm for a long time, and it kind of got relegated to a shady spot where it's not real happy.
No, it likes.
And occasionally
sun.
I'll take a plant and put it out somewhere else in the sunshine and it just gets big and robust. And
So one more thing about basil. If you have a self-sowing basil, I got one from Chuck that actually self-sows, and it's called holy basil, but it's
Right.
green-leafed and a little more pubescent, a little fuzzier.
right.
So if you have a self-sowing basil, it's probably either the green holy basil or it's perilla.
Right, because if it's noxious, it's probably perilla because the basil seedlings, if they do self-seed, are usually pretty easy to control.
And they're killed off very, very easily
Yes.
by frost. Well, good. Thank you for that. But we get a lot of people, and so we may show some pictures next week. It might work out just great. All right, let's go on to line 3, and it's a soil question, freezing question. And what is your exact question? Line 3.
Hi, good evening.
Hi there.
My question is, I've heard that the soil temp is frozen, below freezing, at the 18-inch level. If this is true, what's this going to do to our perennials?
Well, it's common for soils to freeze down to 32 inches in this area, so that's the frost line. So that's not atypical. This year's not different than most years.
Right, so if they're hardy in our climate, then they handle that just fine.
Mm-hmm. The only time I've heard things that were killed off was a sharp drop.
Yeah.
But when you get a gradual freezing, and we've had fairly gradual this year, but so as far as we know, it's going to be just fine because bulbs are used to being in the ground and freezing. So, and they're hardy. So I'm going to say it won't affect it. Now that we will see, but I don't really. Is that the consensus? We don't think it really should affect anything.
No, if it's
Actually, there's a lot of things that you see in Minnesota, and they're from bulbs, and
That's
they
right.
come up every year. And
Well, and also this year we've had a lot of snow cover, which helps insulate it
Really
around.
helps. So if you have some zone 6 bulbs and they happen to come up occasionally, you won't have those this year. But if they are hardy, they'll be just fine. But it's a good question. Thank you so much for that question.
the bulbs will start to concentrate solutes in the cells that basically are putting salt in there.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you take something that's actively growing and just drop the bottom out of the temperature, they'll be all right.
And speaking of supercooling, I think this is a good segue into our Mid-American Gardener quiz. Let's go to that next, and let's do it right now. Have an interesting theme with the plants and cooling, and now that question. So that's kind of great that you folks are going right into what we were going to plan to do anyway. Well, now let's go back around to the panelists, and I'm going to call on you, Chuck.
Okay, I have a tomato plant question, and it's from a viewer named Paul, and I was wondering if I should cut my tomato plants back so they only go so high. Would it do any good to cut from the top and still receive tomatoes on the bottom? I think there are better solutions to that, probably. There are indeterminate tomatoes that keep getting taller through the whole growing season, and there are determinate tomatoes that only grow so high and then stop. They terminate in a flower cluster, and so those will naturally stay shorter. The best foliage and the best photosynthetic area is going to be in the top of the plant. So if you cut that out and kind of starve the tomatoes that are on the bottom, they may go ahead and ripen, but I don't think they're going to be wonderful. Greenhouses where they grow tomatoes long term will actually keep harvesting the tomatoes up, and when they get so high, they'll let the bottom part down and take off all the leaves, and then just keep the top part up in the light and growing. You might try that, but taking the top off is kind of taking the best part of it away. Mm-hmm. And there are tomatoes that are going to stay shorter naturally, so that would be my answer.
Okay, very good. Seems like there's never a time we shouldn't talk about tomatoes all through the year. There's always questions about tomatoes.
Yeah, I had a really nasty, not very red one on a sandwich today that made me think about
wishing you had real tomatoes. Real tomatoes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Well, Mike, let's go to you next.
Okay. Well, we've got a very exciting opportunity in the city of Urbana, and that is we're in a situation here where we're removing one of our largest street trees, the largest street tree, which makes us all sad. It's a large hackberry on Kohler Avenue. We've deemed it the Sim hackberry because Judge Sim lived in the house, the first house that was on the site, and we think the tree was there first. In fact, we think the tree is around 200 years old. But the community support for this tree is phenomenal, and it's really grown into wanting to memorialize this tree. There has been artists that have contacted us and wanting to paint the tree, draw the tree, do botanical drawings. There are wood turners that have contacted us about making wooden bowls or plateware, pins and small items out of the wood. There is a person that's contacted us about maybe doing a mural on a building wall somewhere in the downtown area. So there's a lot of ideas coming at us. We even had an artist, Michael Pittman, that brought me in an idea that I think is pretty neat, where he wants to take a tree slice of the trunk and make a bench out of it, and then actually mark the years of historic events in Urbana on the back of the bench. So that's another idea. The community is soliciting funding for this memorial that we're looking to do, and I hope we can do more than one memorial for this tree. So I'd like to solicit artists to contact me. We're looking for artist proposals that want to get involved in memorializing our Sim hackberry in Urbana, Illinois. And I've provided my contact information at the City of Urbana, that you can reach me if you'd like to be a part of this memorial, this community event.
Very good. So be sure to contact Mike versus WILL, and I think that's really interesting.
It's
all
fun.
Those
it is
ideas.
The interesting thing about this project, it truly brings a historic, a natural, and an artistic perspective together in one project. And some of the ideas that are coming in on how we can memorialize this tree, certainly from a simple plaque and a stump and counting the rings to things like a wall mural
I like that
or a
idea a
bench
lot.
or what have you.
Don's got an idea for part of the tree
Yeah, we can make a bench and put it in the children's garden section out there at the
at the Idea Garden.
Idea Garden. Yeah.
Lots of cool ideas.
You could put the mural on the east wall of Turner Hall, which is just solid bricks and could use
Oh, and it could be full size. It could be
it could
actual
be bigger than full size.
bigger
if you
than
wanted it
full
to be.
size. So it's an idea.
2 ideas already. I hope to get more.
2 out of 3. So that's great. Thank you, Mike.
You're
That's
welcome.
a good idea. Well, Don, what have you got next for us?
I've got a question on redbud trees. The viewer writes in the last 2 years, lost 2 of the redbud trees, and the symptoms are identical to those of verticillium wilt. That is not uncommon to have. Redbuds are just like a big magnet for verticillium wilt. A lot of times I think sometimes when you bring them in from the nursery, they're already infected, but the disease is extremely slow. And it might take 5, 10, 15 years. I watched one of them in a grade school principal's front yard that I kept wanting to cut out of there for about 10 or 12 years before I finally got to have it because it died. It had limped along. The ones that you see that are real old here in town probably came up from seed. So what's going to happen, yes, redbud, verticillium go together. The reason why you probably lost some of them the last couple years been all the drought stress and things like that. So what'll happen, the stress from drought just kind of pushes the tree over the edge, and the verticillium wilt, of course, colonizes the xylem vessels. So it's not at all surprising, and there isn't anything you can do about it, but don't plant redbud back in that same location. In fact, most of the things like maples and all that are susceptible.
Okay, good advice. And so many people have redbuds, so.
Yeah, but they don't have them for a whole
But
long
not
time.
very long.
Put a coffee tree in its place.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I don't think they're susceptible to verticillium.
See, wow.
You know.
Another legume, you'd think they would be.
I think they are.
Are they?
What about serviceberry, since it wouldn't be?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're just trying to help out all the redbud spots in the whole universe.
Oaks, you usually don't see it on oaks.
Right.
It can attack oaks, you usually don't see it on oaks.
Okay, well, we're going to go to the phone lines next, and we're going to start with line 1, and it's a question about orchids. Hi there, line 1.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I have a problem with one of my orchids. The center died during the summer. It got wet, but it had a flower spike. And I cut the flowers off, and the node down from the flowers started growing leaves. And then it started shooting little roots, but then it started spiking more flowers. So I didn't know if I should cut that off and try to propagate that, or if
Did you still have some of the base leaves still on your orchid?
yes.
Okay. Well, I would enjoy that as an interesting experiment because it wouldn't hurt anything. I don't know if anyone else wants to put 2 cents in, but it's coming from the flower spike. So it could just be that.
Leaves on top of it, it is shooting out a flower spike in the center of those leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's roots at the tip, at the base of those leaves. And the leaves are only about an inch long.
Why wouldn't you let it flower first and then think about propagating it?
Well, I was thinking of cutting the spike out and letting it grow more leaves. I didn't know if it could do that.
It might survive and form a new plant, but I don't think the flower spike could survive the propagation process.
Yeah, I would actually see what happens with that flower spike. That would be let it leaf out. And then if there are roots forming, wait till after the leaf because you don't want, you want it to be vegetative,
Right.
not reproductive.
Because the roots are used to being in the air. They're not,
Right.
it shouldn't adversely affect them just to grow there for a while.
So use it as an experiment, then trim back the flower part, and then maybe plant, trim it off.
Yeah,
and
but
plant
enjoy the flowers first.
Exactly. Enjoy the flowers. That's great. Well, thank you. That's really interesting. Thanks for your question. And let's move on to line 5, and it's about evergreens. Hi, line 5.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
My husband and I started out at the end of last March trying to establish a windbreak. We started out with 10 Norway spruce and 10 Douglas fir and 5 blue spruce, and they're 18-inch seedlings. And right around the time we planted them was when we got so much rain, and it was really, really wet, and they all died, and we figured it was because it was too wet. And I don't think trees get too much water, but they can get too much water.
So wrap it up because we're about at the end.
Okay, so we replanted them. We bought
Okay.
new seedlings at the end of August, and we were real careful about the depth. We were real careful about watering them every day, and every last single one of them, but 2 Douglas fir, died.
Okay.
And do we need to check our soil?
I think you watered them too often.
Yeah.
Generally, the woody plants don't need water like an annual flower would, and so it could be that your soil's not draining very well, but certainly daily watering is way too much. Maybe every 3 days in the very heat of the summer, but typically once a week or once every 5 days would be sufficient.
So don't overdo it. Okay, well, we're going to have to wrap it up. That was very good. Thank you, Mike. And we thank you for watching. I want to thank each of you for all your expertise. And I hope you get out and garden, whether it's indoors or out. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.